Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Andrew Fillion, and today we're going over my Midwinter Series cut. If it's your first time here, allow me to explain what we're doing. At the start of the winter, I was 213 pounds. Right now, I'm trying to cut all the way down to 180. I'm roughly around 202, 203 right now. Pretty soon here, we're gonna have to call it the spring cut because winter is almost officially over on March 21st. But anyways, so how this works is at the start of each week, I do an initial measurement, which means I'm getting my weigh in. I'm using a tape measure to measure my waist, and then I'm gonna spin in a circle so you get a 360 view of my physique. From there, I'll show you guys what I'm doing for the rest of the week, and then we'll do the exact same activity at the end, and we're gonna see how much progress I made. For this week, I'm gonna be doing seafood. So to keep this interesting, each meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner will be different, but it's all going to be fish related. In the morning, I'm gonna start out with sardines. For lunch, I'll be having salmon, and for dinner, I'm gonna be having tuna. Additionally, with this, I will have a small amount of fruits and vegetables. That way I can keep my fiber up and keep things regular while also still being able to maximize on my seafood gains here. So along with that, what I will be having, I'm gonna have some green peas. I'm gonna have a very small amount of quinoa, however you pronounce it, and a bunch of mixed berries. I may have at some point a little bit of Greek yogurt just to mix in with the berries so that I can kind of keep things a little bit interesting. But for the most part, we're doing a predominantly seafood week here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm about to run over there. We're gonna start my initial measurements and then we're gonna pick up from there. So here in Michigan, we're in this weird phase where it's late March. It's not cold enough to go snowboarding. It's not quite warm enough for outdoor sports yet. If you've been watching my channel, you guys know one of my favorite hobbies is snowboarding. So I haven't really been able to do that now that it's warming up. And in order to keep up my activity level, I have started running. And this is only going to ramp up as things progress through the season. So we're almost at the end of winter. We've got maybe 1 week of winter left and then it's officially spring. I'll be running 3 miles every single day. I haven't ran really all winter, so I have to kind of build back up. But I think 3 miles a day is doable for someone at my activity level. I'm not worried about the time, I'm just worried about the distance. Once I get down to a point where I'm able to run 3 miles every day effortlessly, that's when I'll start thinking about whether I want to increase the distance or if I want to reduce the time. I think distance might be the way to go because you do burn more calories. When you go running, depending on your body weight, you're going to burn on average between 110 and 130 calories, almost no matter how fast or how slow you run that mile. So if you run 3 miles, you can pretty reasonably guess you're getting somewhere around 350 to 400 calories depending on how much your body weighs. If you add an extra mile to that, you add an extra 120-ish calories. But if you run that mile faster, you don't necessarily get much calorie increase. You get a little bit, don't get me wrong, it's not nothing, but it's not as much as people think. In terms of weight loss, the most important factor is distance. So once I get comfortable with 3 miles, I will try to ramp it up to 4. I think my end goal is maybe by the end of spring, by around June. I'd like to see if I can either run 5 miles every day or just run for 60 minutes uninterrupted. Whichever one comes first, I'll be pretty happy with. I don't think I need to push it much further beyond that. I am at the end of the day still kind of a bodybuilder, not really a distance runner. But I do believe running is the #1 cardio for burning fat. Everybody hates it for a reason. It is the most difficult, but it also is a good indicator that it's the one that's the most successful. If your cardio is too easy, it might not really be doing anything. So I'm doing the running. We'll check in throughout the week on how that's going as well. Just wrapped up a 3 mile run. You're gonna see going forward if you've been watching my videos. I haven't been doing cardio, but now that's warming up, I'm gonna be doing 3 miles every day. Even tonight when I have hockey. Now what I've got right here is my tuna. I'm gonna be having this probably for dinner every day. Sardines in the morning for breakfast, and the salmon I'm bringing to lunch. For breakfast, I'm probably gonna have 4 of these, give or take, have them with hot sauce. It's kind of like a, how much do I feel like I need in the morning? If I don't really feel like I need all 4, could skip that. The salmon, I tried to divvy it up 7 ways, which would have been 3.5 pounds, so that's like I think that's 8 ounces per serving, but if I can split that 7 ways, that's great. But it didn't really come out of the pan the way I wanted it to, so it's kind of a hodgepodge in the pan. Brought 3 servings to work. I'm gonna have the other 4 when I'm not there. I work remote Tuesday through Thursday, and then I'm home the rest of the week. It's basically it. Gonna be doing this like clockwork through the week. I do have some peas. Didn't prepare them for dinner today because I am in a little bit of a hurry. I got hockey later tonight, and this Final Fantasy VII game just came out, and I need time to play it. I'll cook those peas that pulls me away from the game, and we can't be having that. I'm having 2 cans of tuna. I'm gonna mix it up with hot sauce. I don't add mayonnaise. Mayonnaise is a bunch of BS calories that you don't need. It's the worst combination possible. Mayonnaise is filled with soybean oil, which is going to be high on my do not eat list. It's actually kind of like at the top. If you watch my other videos, you know I'm not a fan of oils. I don't have coconut oil. I don't have olive oil. Don't have avocado oil. And I certainly don't have mayonnaise. All right. I'm pretty sure I spilled some water in my tank top, but just in case it's drool, don't look in this corner over here. All right, now just in case it is drool, hear me out. Got this bad boy right here. That's that secret ingredient. You'd be drooling too. Oh, that's it right there. Look at that, guys. I'm just drenching this thing in hot sauce. Once this thing is fully saturated, we'll stir it up, make sure this thing is pretty orange looking, and then we're really good to go. All right, listen, guys. You could put 4 or 5 spoonfuls of mayonnaise and add 500 calories to your tuna, or you could add some Cholula and you get 0 calories, and just tell yourself it tastes as good. Now, if you believe the lie long enough, it becomes true, but not in the case of mayonnaise. The mayonnaise is always gonna add 500 calories to your tuna, whether you're paying attention to it or not. But this right here, 2 full cans, let me tell you how many calories this is. I used the 2 full cans. We got 90 calories per serving. There's 2 servings per can. It's 180. 180 times 2, 360. 360 calories for this tuna, and you know what? It's good enough for me. I'm running 3 miles every day. This is going to super duper duper accelerate my fat loss, but there's a trick to this. You can't compensate your cardio with extra calories. I am eating this as if I didn't run, and I'm running as if I'm not eating this. That's the secret money, guys, because at the end of the day, it's all about getting your outputs higher than your inputs. That's fat loss right there. If your inputs are going up and your outputs are going up, you might end up with the same result. So you're doing all that extra work, getting no progress. It's kind of like when a millionaire makes $1 million and spends all the money, he's still left with 0. He's left with being broke. But that penny pincher that makes like 500K and doesn't spend any of it, like he's sitting there at the end of the day with 500K. Which guy do you want to be? The broke buster, or do you want to be the dude eating tuna with hot sauce? I'm the good dude eating tuna with hot sauce. Anyways, the reason I'm having the tuna at home and not at work is, look, guys, I'm not a sadist. I'm not gonna make the entire office smell like tuna cans just because I'm on a cut. People don't seem to mind salmon, so I'm bringing the salmon to work. Sardines in the morning, salmon at work, tuna at night, and I'm running 3 miles. Gonna be shedding weight like crazy this week. I'm still running even on the days I play hockey. I always have a hard time lifting weights and playing hockey, but for some reason cardio just doesn't seem to affect it that way. So I'm good to go. 3 miles a day, that's 21 miles a week. I'm shredding weight. I'm happy. That's a nice thing about spring. You can always shed weight in the spring. All right, guys, that's enough for now. I'll see you in a little bit. Come on, Tifa. I waited 25 years to play mini games. Well, here we have it. It's Sunday afternoon. I got my last bowl of tuna and green peas. I actually really like this. It's worked out very well all week. This right here is the kind of meal that I could see myself having year round, even after this food challenge is done. I'll be honest, you probably shouldn't have tuna all the time regularly. Even though it says on the can that it's safe on the mercury levels, the bigger the fish, the more mercury there is. And if you guys don't know, tuna is actually like one of the biggest fish you can catch. They're absolutely massive. They're bigger than cows. I can't sit here and tell you guys that I know everything about like fish and mercury and things like that, but just kind of err on the side of caution. If you're gonna have a lot of tuna in 1 week, maybe go a couple weeks without tuna. But in general, this is gonna be a meal that I would kind of I put in the food bank that I could like definitely rely on while I'm trying to like really diet. So it's the end of the week. The running's been going great. I've ran every single day this week, 3 miles at a time. My times are actually getting slightly better. I think my times have improved by like 15 seconds or maybe 20 seconds since the start of the week. That might not sound like a lot, but when you're going like week by week, like you give me 4 or 5 weeks of doing this, if I cut down a 5K run time by 2 minutes, I think that's pretty awesome. The last time I went running was for Thanksgiving. I always do the turkey trot here in Detroit. That's the last time. So we're looking at like 5 months of no running. So I'd say I'm doing pretty good for being like a week back into it. I'm going to go out tonight. I do have some friends that want to go to a pizza place. If you guys have watched me in the past, you know my 2 favorite cheat meals are going to be sushi and lasagna. I know this pizza place has lasagna, so I know it's not seafood, but it is the end of the week. It's Sunday night. There is a chance that, you know, having lasagna might sit in my gut. I might not have the lowest of the week weigh in tomorrow. I did at one point break into the low 201s. I didn't break into 199 like I really wanted to, but we're getting close. When you switch up your training styles, you probably are building a little bit of new muscle in areas that weren't getting it before. So if you don't see numbers on the scale moving all the time, that could be a reason, and that's why the tape measure comes in such handy. At the beginning of the week, I was just a little under 32 on the tape measure, so we'll see. If I'm at like 31 and a half, that shows me that I'm still getting progress, even if my weigh-in tomorrow is going to be a little bit higher. I kind of know it will be, just because lasagna kind of sits in your gut, and I'm just sort of expecting that, so we'll see what happens. I got my last bowl of peas and tuna, and I'm going to chow down. I actually really enjoy this. Overall, this was a really good week for fat loss. I'm not necessarily saying weight loss, and the reason for that is because you'll see in the very beginning of the week, I weighed slightly less than I did this morning by about a pound. However, the reason I say fat loss, this is very important. The tape measure shows that I still lost about a 1/4 inch off the waist. Now, the reason for the weight being up, I kind of had a feeling this was going to happen. I went out for Italian food last night. I got lasagna. It always sits in your gut. It's a very heavy food. I think I'm quite literally still holding the weight of the food in my body. What I might start doing going forward, now that I think about it more, is I might do a midweek check-in around Thursday or Friday morning. The reason for this is that I'm always my lightest at the end of the work week, and on the weekend I usually lax up a little bit, have a little bit of fun with the meals, and that leads to water weight, and that doesn't necessarily mean fat gain. But when you stand on the scale, it's hard to see the difference. So I might be checking in with you guys, not only with how my week is going, but also how my weight and measurements are going too. That way you guys can see through the week I really am making progress, even if on Monday morning when I film these, I might be a little bit heavier. But all in all, the running has been going great. I'm very happy with that. It's actually currently snowing outside. That's what I get for living in Michigan. But I think going forward, I'll have to rename this the Spring Cut, because by my next video, it'll officially be spring. So before I close out, go ahead and hit the like button. Also subscribe if you did like the video. This goes a long way helping me grow my channel, and also goes a long way of helping you guys see my progress through the weeks. And I think by the time we hit summer, the story is going to tell itself. What would you like to see me do going forward? Do you want to see more food related content? Would you like to see me training? I want to hear from you guys so that I can help serve you in the best way that I can. With that, I've been Andrew Fillion. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.